All right, guys, so I'm pretty sure that most of you are aware that Australia has some of the most restrictive public health policies when it comes to trying to stop the spread of COVID-19. And it seems like they will do almost anything. They will implement any policy, no matter how restrictive it is, in order to try to stop the spread, whether that be vaccine mandates, mask mandates, lockdowns, and they will even go as far as to put people in COVID internment camps in order to force people to quarantine. Take a look.
The camp who are disciplining you because you were apparently not being contained within your area. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So I went to the bin to put something in the bin that I was not wearing a mask. And the person that came to hand me the notice was another police officer.
So what's the go?
So this, I'm going to give you a warning, yeah? It's an official warning that you have to stand in your balcony and obey the rules while you're here, yeah? And that's, we have to go the rules again. I don't care.
So am I allowed to go to the laundry?
You're allowed to go to the laundry, but you got to wear a mask, yeah?
Yeah, righto.
Yeah. And you definitely can't go up to fencing routes, but you're allowed to go to the laundry, yeah? That's always been the case, yeah?
Right, so if I was sitting just here, which is right near the fence, why are these guys in a cabin that's right near the fence? It makes no sense, does it?
Yeah, but you can't leave your balcony to go to the fence to talk to somebody else. That's just obvious, yeah?
So if I was
Again,
at that
it doesn't have to
balcony...
make sense. So there has to be lines everywhere drawn, yeah? And one of the lines is you cannot leave your balcony and you cannot go to someone else. Where it makes no sense or it doesn't seem right to you, that is the line, and that's what the law is, yeah? And that's how it goes, yeah?
The law.
Well, the show direction.
There's a law that says
show
that.
direction, yep. There's a show direction, yeah? And how the behaviour must be done, especially in this area because it's much more highly infectious and likely to have infected people, yeah?
Highly infectious when all of us people are negative.
So
There's a risk.
So far, the risk is still very high, yeah? Just while you're here, can we just do that? Otherwise, the next time it's a $5,000 fine, and we don't want to do that.
It's a $5,000 fine if what?
Fine. If you breach again.
If I walk out onto that path.
Without your mask on, for no reason other than the laundry.
If I cross that yellow line,
Rule saying that you've broken the rule.
that I've broken the rule, I will be issued with a $5,000 fine.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay. We could even do that now, but we're giving the warning first. Have a chat with you because it's a big fine. Rather just do the right thing, yeah? Like I said, I'm not here to fight with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight with you.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to do the right thing, and unfortunately it's my job to make sure they do. I don't care the ins and outs. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just here to make sure the rules are here, yeah?
Yeah, so that's that guy saying, hey, look, I'm doing you a favor. Even though you're being forced to quarantine in this 14-day COVID internment camp, I'm doing you a favor by not fining you $5,000 for walking past that little line, that yellow line on the porch without your mask on, right? I mean, can you imagine being in a situation like that where that is being forced on you? And if you thought that it couldn't get any crazier in Australia, well, you're wrong. As one of the chief ministers of the Northern Territory of Australia, Mr. Michael Gunner, has now implemented probably the most asinine COVID-19 lockdown that I've ever seen in my life, in which he's basically restricting unvaccinated people from being able to exercise or even go to work. Take a look.
I will now go through each of these decisions. First, the lockout. The fully vaccinated can continue as they were. For people who are not vaccinated, lockdown rules will apply to everyone 16 and above. If you are not fully vaxxed, stay home. You are at greater risk of catching COVID, becoming ill, and needing hospital care. You may only leave home for 3 reasons. Medical treatment, including COVID testing or vaccination. For essential goods and services like groceries, power tokens, medications. To provide care and support to a family member or person who cannot support themselves. You cannot travel more than 30 kilometres from your home when leaving for one of the 3 reasons, or the nearest practical destination. If you need to go to the hospital and it's more than 30 kilometres from your home, that's okay. There are only 3 reasons to leave the home now, not 5. Work is not a reason to leave the home for the unvaccinated. The Chief Health Officer has also determined that restriction of movement is critical right now and that 1 hour of exercise for the next 4 days is not essential. Remember, these restrictions only apply to those who are not fully vaccinated.
Yeah. So essentially, this guy is basically saying, look, there's only 3 reasons you can leave your home, right? Essential travel, aka get groceries, to take care of a sick family member, or to go to the hospital to get testing or treatment, right? Leaving home to go to work or to exercise is not valid. Even though you need to work in order to survive, right, and to feed yourself and to live, and you also need to exercise to avoid becoming overweight / obese, right? Obesity is a risk factor when you catch COVID-19 in regards to potentially getting a severe form of disease, right? So you would think that in order to avoid hospitalizations, that he would be encouraging people to actually go outside and to exercise, right? Lose some weight, right? Actually get some movement so that you don't become obese, okay? But hey, this stuff really doesn't make any sense in my opinion. And it's coming as the Northern Territory of Australia has recorded 250 new cases, right? 250 new cases out of about 250 some thousand people, right? With 1 or 2 deaths max that have been caused by this disease in the Northern Territory. And one of the deaths was like some 70-some-year-old woman, right? So I want you guys to understand like how crazy this stuff is, how they're reacting to this virus and what they're doing, right? How far they're going to go to restrict freedoms. And they seem to be ratcheting this stuff up regardless of how much this virus has actually impacted them, okay? I mean, this same territory, literally after this lockdown ends, is going to implement a vaccine passport on an app where you now can just, upload your vaccine status on the app. You got to show people the app in order to get into places. It's kind of crazy, man. Some Orwellian stuff going on here in Australia, to be quite honest with you. Now, I guess the question is whether or not we will ever see anything like that in the U.S. Well, I mean, listen, the answer to that question is, I don't know. I mean, we already have kind of the vaccine passports in blue states. But in regards to, forced isolation, unvaccinated people not being able to go to work or to exercise and stuff like that, honestly, I have no clue. However, there has been something kind of scary going around on the internet that's kind of go viral about a bill in Washington State that will authorize a strike force to involuntarily detain unvaccinated families. And this right here has kind of scared a lot of people, as this involves a proposed revision to one of their state laws, right? In which the proposed revision would include a COVID protocol under the state's Communicable and Certain Other Diseases Act, outlines procedures for isolation or quarantine. The measure would allow local health officials at his or her own discretion to issue an emergency detention order causing a person or groups of persons to be immediately detained for purposes of isolation or quarantine. So apparently there's a law in Washington State that allows health officials to do this. And allegedly they were supposed to be having a meeting to discuss adding the COVID protocol to this, right? And this has scared a whole lot of people a lot. However, the officials in Washington, the Washington State Board of Health, they're denying that that is actually what is happening.
So right now, some misinformation over an upcoming meeting with the Washington State Board of Health is making the rounds on social media. The flyer here on your screen claims the board will be voting on requiring the COVID vaccine for children in schools and allowing law enforcement to detain people to be isolated in a quarantine facility. Both of those claims are false. The Board of Health clarified the misinformation in a press release, saying neither of these items would be voted on during the January 12th board meeting. A full agenda of that meeting will be available on Friday. For more information, we'll have a link to the release on our website.
Yeah, so the Washington State Board is denying that that is what's actually happening, right? But I'm just saying, stuff like that comes up, people get worried, they get scared because of what we see going on in other parts of the world, like Australia, right? So I definitely understand why people see stuff like that and they get super skeptical and super sketched out about what could happen in this country. But with that being said, if you have not moved out of blue state yet, right, and you're concerned about this stuff, I highly encourage you to think about moving out of some of these blue states. Because I'm gonna tell you, some of these places may start to turn into Australia. I'm just saying, right? I wouldn't put it past them, especially places like New York, California, that are obsessed with this stuff. They could possibly go that far. But let's hope that this country does not become like Australia. Hopefully that won't happen. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.